distinct colors and sounds that represent Little Tokyo became brighter and louder during Nisei Week. This Japanese American festival, now in its 80th edition, delighted attendees with a parade filled with different Japanese dancing styles, pop culture groups, and celebrities. Take a look.
This is a Nisei Week. It's a Japanese American festival. It's been for a long time. Little Tokyo, of course, is a Japanese culture. And this Nisei Week is always connected with this Little Tokyo culture. We have Japanese dancing and Japanese pop culture per people, and also taiko people, and a lot of celebrities coming.
I just love Japanese culture, and anytime I can participate in something, I try to go to it.
It's a great way for the Japanese American community to come out and support all the different programs and restaurants and community sponsors throughout the Japanese American community. I mean, there really isn't any other time of year where you get to see all of the different community, like Ondo groups and different groups that you wouldn't normally see all at one place. So it's really exciting. We're really excited to be here and be a part of it. My daughter, her sister,
Christine Yada, she just recently became queen of Nisei Week. So we're very excited to see her come up on the JL float. And we just on that little top spot. I'm very excited. We took a lot of pictures.
Adding diversity and exploring challenges were some of the main goals behind the creation of the inaugural internship program created by the Department of Public Works. Students from historically Black colleges and universities were introduced to engineering opportunities in the city and participated in problem-solving experiences.
We were fortunate this year in the city of Los Angeles to implement the inaugural of the HBCU, better known as the Historically Black Colleges and Universities internship program. In this program, we had a focus to introduce students from historically Black colleges to the various engineering hiring departments and bureaus in the city of Los Angeles, and second, to explore the various engineering challenges in the city of Los Angeles with an understanding of the solutions and engineering projects that we implement on an everyday basis in this great city, the second largest city in the country. Finally, we believe that this experience will have given students an opportunity to observe the engineers in the city of Los Angeles and the different cultures that they have come from, while at the same time realizing what kind of cultural diversity they could bring.
I think activities such as this HBCU internship program gives them a sneak peek into coming and seeing what we really do. And I think it was a great program because it wasn't just focused on one department. They got to see what a number of different departments did in regards to engineering.
My department, LA Sanitation Environment, we had the privilege of managing, organizing, and being the project lead for this project. My role is being the program manager and program coordinator and the main contact person.
We had the responsibility of helping to design a grant that was funded for us to implement these engineering programs for college students. In fact, from the Innovation Grant, we have 3 programs that I have identified, 12 each, college students who come to the city of Los Angeles and are introduced to engineers and engineer problem-solving experiences.
My greatest takeaway from this program, I would say, is the strength in diversity, originality, and individuality.
For me, it's kind of hard to pick one topic, but I would say some things that stood out to me was like the transportation, construction management part, and also the port of LA and how much money they actually bring in.
My biggest takeaway from this internship is about recycling and being green, just being more mindful about how much plastic I'm using.
For me, it's confidence, because it's easy to feel marginalized, whether because I'm young, because I'm female, because I'm Black. But meeting people, fellow interns and engineers, I don't feel that I'll be afraid anymore.
We're here to help because we want to see them here at the city of LA. And I think they would be a tremendous addition to the program that the city of LA with the diversity program.
This week, in our ongoing series celebrating the 60th anniversary of the LA Cultural Heritage Commission, we visit the Oliver House. Built in the 1930s, this modernist house boasts an indoor-outdoor sculptural style and highlights the importance of simple design as a way to improve the quality of life.
Welcome today to the Oliver House, which is a 1933 Rudolf Schindler house and one of the most recently designated monuments in the city of Los Angeles. R.M. Schindler was a modernist architect in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. He's primarily known for modernist houses that really manipulate sculpture space, indoor-outdoor relationships, light and air in all the rooms, and really was the bedrock of the modernist movement in Los Angeles. Freestanding furniture was a component of his residences. They're able to work with the sculptural space, help form the sculpture of the space. In this house particularly, you'll notice that the furniture also creates an alcove for a piano. So piano is part of the living room, but is concealed from it. And it's all part of how Schindler manipulated space in the sculpture.
Well, the reason I applied for the historic status was because it might be important these days for people to think in terms of simple design as a way to improve the quality of life rather than more. It's a very small house. It's 1,275 square feet. I think it's smaller by far than all the other houses that have since been built here, but it's enough, and it's beautiful. And it's a lovely thing to live in it, and it doesn't need all the extravagance that seems to be going on these days. So I think there's an important lesson for our times in, cutting back a little bit and just enjoying nature. It's an indoor-outdoor house. You really feel like you're part of the world around you. You're not shut off in a house. But it's a beautiful thing to just live simply with nature. So I think this house is a good example of how to do it on a very modest level. It's good design.
In this week's feature story, Maria Hallbrown sits down with Martine Singer of Children's Institute to learn about some of the services the organization provides for children and parents across Los Angeles. Known for their work addressing underinvestment and racist policies, Children's Institute strives to interrupt the cycle of poverty. Let's hear this story.
What are some of the things that the Children's Institute is devoted to doing?
So we do a lot of services for children and families. We have an enormous preschool program that includes home visitation. We're throughout South LA. We also do a lot of mental health services. We do services for families to provide resources. A lot of care coordination is really kind of what it boils down to. We work with very vulnerable populations like transition-age foster youth who are aging out of the system. We work with a lot of younger children in the foster care system. We work with families that are living in difficult circumstances because of poverty, because of violence in the home, violence in the community. So the core of our service model is to address trauma. We know that trauma can really hurt minds and bodies. So early trauma can cause not only mental health problems, but it also affects the developing body. and it can cause lifelong health problems. So intervening early where there's trauma is critically important to changing that trajectory and not repeating generation after generation of trauma and all of the results that come from it.
We can't hesitate to talk about this space that has just recently been opened. What was the necessary elements that had to come into play to make this place, and what is it hoping to do?
Well, you know, we were just talking about all of the things that you need to recover from trauma.
Sure.
And one is hope. And to me, certainly to Frank Gehry, who designed the building, light is hope. He said a beautiful thing at the dedication of the space. He sort of looked up and he said, you know, light is free. And all you need to do is poke some holes and let the light in. Now, of course, not as easy as he makes it sound, but if you look up and you see the space that's really cathedral-like, the light plays such a huge part in the power of this building. And that you don't need to be an architect or understand, you know, engineering to walk in here and feel it. To feel there is hope, there's beauty, but it's very simple, it's not intrusive, and it is a place that's really a sanctuary for the community, for the children and families, and for our staff who come to work here.
Attend the Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture. Learn about home composting and urban gardening with LA Sand specialists, or see Macbeth at the Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival. All this up next on Things to Do.
Attention Angelinos, join SoCal's longest-running Filipino-American tradition at Levitt Pavilion, the Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture. Enjoy the cultural diversity of our city on an evening filled with a strong lineup of Filipino and Filipino-American multidisciplinary artists and vendors. Food and merchandise booths, art installations, Filipino storytelling for children, live music performances, and many other things are sure to delight attendees. The Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture is a free event open to everyone, taking place at Levitt Pavilion in MacArthur Park on Saturday, September 3rd at 4 p.m. To register and get more details, search for the Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture event at eventbrite.com. If you'd like to take good care of your garden while being environmentally sustainable, check out the LA Sanitation Home Composting and Urban Gardening Workshop at the Gaffey Nature Center in San Pedro. This free workshop is a chance to learn how to make soil out of kitchen scraps and yard trimmings with the guidance of LA Sand specialists, who will also teach attendees about pollinators, herbs, and drought-tolerant California-friendly plants. Make sure to bring proof of LA City residency to get gardening supplies for a discounted rate. The LA Sand Home Composting and Urban Gardening Workshop takes place at the Gaffey Nature Center in San Pedro on Saturday, September 3rd at 9 a.m. Registration is required. For more information, including additional dates and locations, visit lacitysand.eventbrite.com. Double toil and trouble, something special is brewing at the Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival. Macbeth, Shakespeare's most seductive tragedy, will transport audience members to an eerie world where characters appear from behind trees, magic is happening in the woods, and nothing is quite what it seems. All performances are free, but advanced ticket reservations are required. The performance of Macbeth with the Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival will take place at the Old Zoo in Griffith Park every day, Wednesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Catch it before the production closes on September 4th. For more details, visit iscla.org. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfield. Blumenfield. Bonin. Buscaino. Cedillo. De Leon. Absent. Harris Dawson. Koretz. Krikorian. Lee. Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell. Price. Rahman. Rodriguez. And back to De Leon. 14 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of August 26, 2022.
Mr. Harris Dawson moves and Mr. Lee seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Krikorian moves and Ms. Rahman seconds. Next.
Madam President, today is Tuesday and it's time for the flag salute.
Mr. Rodriguez, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please arise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and run through the agenda.
Thank you. Items 1 through 14 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 15 through 16 are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 17 through 29 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Since the posting of today's agenda, a community impact statement was received from the Empowerment Congress West Area Neighborhood Development Council and has been added to Council File 22-0981. Items 30 through 35 are items scheduled for closed session for which public hearings have been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Members, those items are before us now. You wish to call any of these items special? Seeing no members on the queue.
I want to hold item 29. I have an
Hold
objection.
item 29?
Yeah.
Hold item 29 for Mr. Harris Dawson. Ms.
Ma-
Rahman?
Item 15 special for a separate vote, please.
Okay, you want item 13 special for, I'm sorry, 13 or 15?
15, yeah.
15, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Item 15 special for Ms. Rahman for a separate vote. Item 29 for Mr. Harris Dawson.
Madam
Anyone
President.
else? Mr. Bonin?
Mr. Harris Dawson did not call 29 special. He raised an objection to consideration of item 29, which under council rules means we need to do a roll call vote and you need 10 votes to consider it.
Is that what your intent was, Mr. Harris Dawson? Because that's not what you expressed. So you're objecting to consideration of item 29? You want to vote on consideration of item 29. Very well. Members, are there any other specials on today's agenda? Any other specials? Seeing no other specials, I'm going to go ahead and vote on consideration of item 29, which was requested by Mr. Harris Dawson but clarified by Mr. Bonin. Members, I do ask that I urge you to vote yes on considering this item before you. Postponing it any further would be a huge mistake and a further disenfranchisement of the community from Council District 10. There's a number of people that are here to speak on this item that deserve representation, and we should take this item up as soon as possible. So I urge you to vote yes on consideration and vote yes on the merits of the woman before us to represent District 10. Members, let's go ahead and open the roll. I'm sorry, Mr. Blumenfield. Mr. Blumenfield?
Discussion on this?
Sure.
Okay. And can we ask the city attorney some questions about what happens with this, or does that have to happen during the discussion of consideration? I mean, I put it this way. I have a number of questions about the process, and I really like Heather Hutt. I want to see her appointed to this position, but I do want to see some sort of a process put forward in this, and so my inclination is is to support the objection for consideration just so we can have a hearing or have a discussion about what this all means. And because I haven't, it's all happened very quickly for me. I just found out about the appointment on late Thursday when Ms. Hutt contacted me. That's how I found out about it. And then thought we would have a hearing because it was a motion, and then yesterday found out that it was on the agenda for today. So I haven't had a chance to really vet or understand the implications of what this really means, because it is a big deal that we are doing here, and an important one, and I want this process to give legitimacy to the person who we appoint. So I don't know if we're able to do that during this consideration process, if there's a way to have a hearing.
Mr. Blumenfield, I'm gonna, and Mr. City Attorney, you can also help clarify this, but the item is not before us yet. The item is up for consideration. We can have that discussion about process. We can have all your questions answered by the city attorneys that are here today. Once this item comes before us and we hear from the public. For right now, we're voting on simply on whether we are going to consider this item today or not.
That's right, Madam President. Yes.
Mr. City Attorney, is that correct?
That's correct. And so just to help clarify it, so if the item doesn't receive 10 votes to be considered, then it will be referred back to the Rules Committee pursuant to Rule 17.
Mr. Harris Dawson, followed by Mr. Cedillo.
Well, I've asked that we delay considering this item because of the rush way it's been brought to us. I think it does a disservice to Ms. Heather Hutt, who's got a sterling reputation and track record in our community, bar none. But this isn't regular business. I sat on the Rules Committee from 2015 to 2019. During that time, there were a couple of appointments, and there was a process that we went through. And when we skip that process, which is what's being proposed to us today, what it does is it calls into question the person who's being appointed and the process. I think this situation is particularly different because different than any other situation, we have a human being who is alive, who won an election, who's outside of this building, calling into question legitimacy of it all. So I think in that situation, you do all due diligence for the protection of the people in the 10th District, for the protection of Ms. Hutt, and for the protection of the reputation of this council.
Mr. Cedillo, followed by Mr. Krikorian. I want to ask the members of the public to please keep quiet so we can hear from the members. I want to give you all an opportunity to speak, but let's hear from the members and vote on consideration. Mr. Cedillo?
Madam Chair, Madam President, this is really, for me, a very perfunctory question. It really is about the promise of democracy and the execution of that. For me, there's only 3 questions. Is there a vacancy? There is. Do we have an appointing authority? You are. We are. And do we have an eligible candidate? And the question, we just heard from Mr. Harris Dawson, bar none. In other words, the preeminent, the most qualified. And so for me, it's very simple. You answer those 3 questions in the affirmative, and we move forward. We move forward with the realization of the promise of democracy. You are the president of this council. You have been appointed by this body. Every person raising an objection voted for you, and you have the authority and the duty to act. Not merely the authority, but you have an obligation to act, to take the appropriate swift action to fill this vacancy. This is not a new issue. The questions here have been raised and before the public for a very long time. They've been raised for a very long time, and now is simply to, as I said, fulfill the perfunctory duty. As I said, Is there a vacancy? There is.
I'm going to ask the members of the public to please be quiet so we can continue. Thank you.
There is that vacancy. You are and we are that appointing authority. The 10th district merits our action, demands our action. Democracy demands our action. Again, bar none, she is eminently qualified. So the action today is to say we recognize in the affirmative the yes answer to those questions and recognize that she is here, ready, willing, able. This district that cries for a vote will see that vote and see that promise of democracy realized with the vote today. Now, democracy delayed is democracy denied. Representation delayed is representation denied. Now is the time for us to move forward and bring forward the most, bar none, eminently qualified appointee for the 10th district, and bring to the 10th district all the relationships, all the resources, all the history, all the intellectual capacity that is embodied in Heather Hutt, so that the 10th district can have true representation. I call for a vote with you, Madam President.
Mr. Krikorian, followed by Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Madam President. I certainly agree with Mr. Cedillo on one important point, and I think Mr. Harris-Dawson expressed it as well, is that the candidate that is being put before the council is eminently qualified to represent the 10th district as a member of this council. And throughout the discussions that I've had over the last weekend and since this has come up, there clearly seems to be a tremendous amount of support for Ms. Hutt to take over as the temporary council member pending this temporary vacancy. Where I differ with Mr. Cedillo is in the clarity of this situation. And here's why. The City Council of Los Angeles has never in the entire history of this city faced the situation that's before us right now, ever. The last time the council was asked to appoint someone as a member of this council for a period longer than a year was when John Ferraro was appointed to be a member of this council. And he ended up being the longest serving council member in the history of the city. Even that situation was different than this because his predecessor had died and there was an unquestioned vacancy in the seat. Here we have a temporary vacancy, and I'm going to talk to this more a little bit later when we discuss this, when I assume we're going to discuss the substance. But what's before us is a motion to fill a temporary vacancy. This does not in any way imply that Mr. Harris-Dawson will not, I'm sorry, that this does not in any way imply that Mr. Ridley Thomas will not eventually be restored to this council because he is innocent until he's proven guilty. This is a temporary vacancy, and what will be before us is for Ms. Hutt to be appointed to fill that temporary vacancy. So this is not a situation that we have ever faced before. So I do think that this merits discussion with the city attorney. I think it merits discussion with the city clerk about what our options are, all of those things. But as I understand it, Madam President, we can discuss those things when the matter is brought before us today. We can have the city attorney here and the clerk here today to respond to those questions. Is that not true?
That is correct, and they're here to do so.
Okay, so if they are here and able to respond to those questions, and we do have a room full of folks who are very interested in providing their comment, and I think we should hear their comment today. If this is to be considered, and we have those questions answered today, it would certainly be within the power of this council to choose to continue the matter for further consideration. It would be within the power of this council to ask that it be referred back to committee. It would be within the power of this council to approve the motion that's before us. We could do all of those things once it's considered and once the answers to our questions are presented substantively during this discussion. So for that reason, I think we should move forward with hearing the matter. I certainly have been satisfied with Ms. Hutt as the next appointee for this temporary vacancy. I do think there's a lot we have to talk about in this process, and I hope that all of our substantive and process questions are fully answered today before I'm prepared to act today. And so the only way that's going to happen, though, is if we consider the matter and we can bring them before us for that discussion. So for that reason, I'm going to support consideration of this matter and then look forward to a further and more robust discussion about all the issues set forth in the Bonin-Harris-Dawson motion and have all of those questions answered for us.
Thank you, Mr. Gregorian. Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to join Mr. Harris-Dawson in his objection, and I rise to join everybody in saying that this has nothing to do, in my opinion, with Ms. Hutt or her qualifications or her ability to serve. I don't know her very well, and I haven't really spoken to her, but I hear nothing but wonderful things, and I do agree that she is eminently qualified. But I have objections, extreme objections, to the process of this coming before us today. There were two motions introduced on Friday about how to fill the vacancy in CD10. Only one of them was agendized. One of them was held back from circulation the other day for a while and then is sent to committee while this other one moves forward. The process is very, very important. As Mr. Krikorian said, this is an unprecedented situation. Many other cities actually have a process with more than one candidate before them. For me, it's not enough to be satisfied with one name put before me. Santa Monica filled a vacancy last year. It was an open application process. The public could review. They had to testify before the city council, and they were debated and winnowed down over a period of hours. The same with West Hollywood back in 2009. The city of Seattle, they have 20 days to fill a vacancy in Seattle, 20 days. They have, in the last vacancy, they had an open application process. Those applications and resumes were available for the public to review. Then they had a public forum with every candidate who wanted to be appointed, and then they narrowed it down, and those people had to testify before and answer questions to the committee, the council. In Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot has the unilateral ability to make an appointment, and she created a community process where people can apply and where there is public testimony and public vetting. Honest to God, if we can't do good government better than Chicago, I think there's a problem with us. We got to be able to do better than that. And so I object to consideration today so that we can refer this to committee, we can hear both motions, we can actually have a process with more than one candidate. I disagree with Mr. Cedillo that this is a matter of democracy. An up or down on one candidate is not a democracy. That's how they did it in the Soviet Union. Here in this country, we get to choose between various candidates, and I believe that the residents of the 10th District deserve to have options.
Mr. De Leon.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Colleagues, let's be clear. There is a process that already exists for filling a vacant council seat, and it's spelled out very clearly in the city charter. This is the same city charter that was adopted by the voters of Los Angeles when it into effect July 1st of 1925. It's the same charter that was reaffirmed July 1st back in 2000. And specifically, Article 4, Section 409 lays out that process. It's even titled, quote, filling vacancies in the offices of mayor, city attorney, controller, and member of the city council. It opens by stating that, quote, the council may fill a vacancy by appointing a person to hold the office for the portion of the unexpired term, end quote. I think that collectively, and this is before my time, when this body elected Nuri Martinez as the council president, she is exercising her authority as stated in the charter to appoint someone to fill the CD10 seat temporarily. I know there are inferences with regards to quote-unquote backroom deals. I think I read a quote also too from the LA Times editorial, shady, quote-unquote, the word that was utilized. I think it's very interesting language. I think the motion in question before us was made publicly on Friday of last week, along with the other motion. And in fact, the motion states, quote, the vacancy is temporary because Mr. Willie Thomas would be eligible to resume his elected duties if he's acquitted of the charges against him or dismissed. So we're not presuming guilt or innocence on the current situation with our colleague from CD10, who was suspended by this body due to the indictment. Whatever the charges are, not the charges, whatever the end result will be, will be. If he's acquitted, or if the charges are dropped, my presumption is he's returning back to his seat, if that is his desire to do so, legally and automatically. So the question I ask is, did Heather Hutt express a desire to become a voting representative of this council district based on her experience and understanding of the district in which she was born and raised in? And as a result, did she speak to Council President Nuri Martinez about her desire? Now, I wasn't there, but I'm going to make the assumption, this is purely conjecture, so I'm going to extrapolate, that you conveyed to her, if you want the seat, you have to do your due diligence. And you have to go and speak with every single member around this horseshoe and state your case. And state the case why you should be not just a representative, but a voting representative of CD10. Did she express what she planned to do if given the opportunity to represent this district, albeit temporarily? Because it strikes me as democracy in action that she's speaking to duly elected members who represent 250,000 individuals, collectively 4 million for the city of Los Angeles. She went hat in hand to each individual, presumably, to say, hi, I'm Heather Hutt, and these are the reasons why I believe if given an opportunity, I should be the voice of CD10, albeit temporarily, the asterisk there, towards the final result with regards to the indictment of Mark Willie Thomas. That, my friends, is democracy in action. This doesn't sound like a backroom deal. Sounds like a woman of color, a black woman to be specific, who has the audacity to believe that she could be the voice and the vote of CD10. And if she were to be appointed, we'll see if she gets 10 votes or not, or the following week with 8 votes. If she were to be appointed, she would be the 3rd black woman in the history of the city of Los Angeles, the first woman and first black woman in the history of CD10. Let me say this. This is in the 240-year history of the city of LA. As progressive as we like to say we are in the city of LA, the cities of Dallas, Texas, Salt Lake City, Utah have more women on their council than we do on the city of council Los Angeles. Even Tulsa, Oklahoma has more women, percentage-wise, than we do here. So for those who argue also that this should go to the city attorney for process, what is process? When you create an ad hoc committee, who appoints the ad hoc committee? Who makes the decision among the members of the ad hoc committee? Do they vet and then they punt to us, a whole number of individuals? Why would we as council members cede our authority to another body, or in this case, asking the city attorney for their legal opinion when this is not a legal matter? This is a legislative matter. And as it states out clearly in the charter, I don't think there's a lot of room for interpretation. At best, it says the authority lies in our collective hands. At worst, perhaps one could say the issue is silent, but we can exercise that decision-making. And be mindful about one thing. This is the same city attorney office who legally opined that we can move forward with Herb Wesson. Now, nothing wrong with Herb Wesson, because he's an excellent individual. Mr. Krikorian was correct and spot on with regard to his legal interpretation, not on who should fill the seat specifically, but on Herb Wesson himself specifically, as it pertains to his 12 years already in office. A judge has already decided on that, has already opined. So what I'm saying, colleagues, is that we have this opportunity that's before us. It's been 314 days to be exact since Mr. Mark Lee Thomas was suspended temporarily. We've had 314 days to actually change the charter process if we wanted to do so. But we didn't do it for 314 days. What's process look like? Is it a lottery system? Is it an ad hoc committee system? Is it going to the community? And when we go to the community, what does that mean exactly? The ones who can organize the most? The ones who have the loudest voice? What I'm saying to you is, let's not bifurcate the issue with regards to process and the issue with regards to someone who we believe is qualified that's before us, who used to work for then U.S. Senator Kamala Harris, now Vice President of the United States of America. Because the appointment in itself is temporary. What she does is what this opportunity does, is it gives CD10 residents and voters a voice and a vote on the issues that matter to them. To me, it sounds like democracy is working itself right now, openly and publicly, in front of everybody, whether you're for or against Heather Hutz. Whether you're for or against Heather Hutz. To me, it doesn't get much more democratic than that. Colleagues, I believe that we have an opportunity that's before us. I believe she's eminently qualified, and it simply doesn't get more democratic than that. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Mr. Krikorian?
Just briefly, Madam President, to try to bring us back to the question. The question before us is whether we take this matter up today. It's not the substance of it. And so I appreciate Mr. De Leon's reference to how I had assessed some of the legal issues before. That's what I hope we'll be able, that's a discussion I hope we'll be able to have today too, because this unprecedented situation that we're facing requires us to have the consultation of the city attorney. It requires us to talk to the clerk about what our options are. It requires us to consider what are the pluses and minuses of the different options that are before that. I happen to think we can do that today and have our questions answered before us. That's the question that we're about to vote on. Nothing else other than that. Do you want to hear this matter today? Once we do, once we have those questions answered, you can make whatever motions you'd like. You can make a motion to continue. You can make a motion to refer it to committee. You can make a motion for a report back. You can do all of those things, but the only question we're about to vote on now is, are we taking this matter up?
Mr. City Attorney?
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Krikorian. I would just remind members, what's up for debate now is exactly what Mr. Krikorian said. It's whether to consider the motion. It's not the substance of the motion or the candidate herself. It's just whether or not you're going to take this item up. And that's what debate should be limited to.
Ms. Rodriguez, followed by Mr. Blumenfield.
Thank you, Mr. Krikorian, for reminding everyone that we're actually having a conversation on, and it's whether or not we will actually consider this item today, but recognizing that there was an alternative motion that was presented for everyone to consider, and these are conversations that we should have together. And I think what's happened in terms of what we're doing in terms of a process and accelerating the pace of this is what landed us in trouble last time. And so it's for that reason that I have very strong concerns about what we're doing here today. I, for one, have both times waved the flag of concern about the pace with which we're making decisions, having very deliberative conversations with the city attorney who guided us incorrectly last time. Thank you for being the voice of the individual who actually read the charter correctly on that. But we are now in this circumstance where here we are all over again. And so I just want to make sure that we are being very thoughtful, considering the process and the conversations and the opportunities for us to sadly have to really consider the decisions that we're making and how we make them, because sadly we've had to make this decision multiple times on this council, not just because of deaths, but because of the lack of transparency with which certain individuals, even the unfortunate cloud that hangs over City Hall as a result of charges that have come before members. So for that reason, I really do think it would be the most responsible thing for us to do to have a concurrent conversation and dialogue in a committee process that honors the work that we do here around this horseshoe. Thank you.
Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. Everyone around this horseshoe has a conscience. Let's do the decent thing and approve consideration. We've got to give Heather Hutt a chance today. Let's approve consideration. We can get bogged down in process, which becomes the equivalent of delay. The 10th district needs a voting member. Let's do the right thing, let's do the decent thing, and approve the consideration of Heather Hutt as the temporary appointment to the 10th district. Thank you.
Mr. Blumenfield, followed by Mr. Cedillo.
First, Mr. Dalian was talking about somehow kicking it to the city attorneys, and that's the last thing I want to do, and that's not, certainly not what I was implying when I was talking about how we have important questions for the city attorney in terms of what does happen next. What happens in these odd situations if, let's say, MRT ends up plea bargaining and it's not a felony anymore, and then can he come back? Can he come back? What happens? There are a lot of questions that come up of what happens next that we haven't vetted. Maybe we can vet some of those questions here today with the city attorney. I don't know that we can get all those answers answered. When I talk about process, I'm not talking about a 60-day having 10 different candidates come. Some of my colleagues may want that process. I'm comfortable with appointing someone and us confirming that person. But what gives me grave discomfort is the speed at which we are doing this. I know we've waited 314 days, but
Can I ask the members of the public to please allow Mr. Blumenfield to continue?
this will just extend it if we have a little big back and forth. I'm happy to talk to folks beyond. I've talked to lots of people about this, but this is our process here where we get to talk for a moment and then we're going to take a vote. For me, I'm very torn on this whether to consider or whether not to consider today, because what I would rather have is a couple of days is actually have a hearing. That's what I thought when this was kicked by motion to the Rules Committee. I said, great, we're going to actually have a hearing. We're going to bring people up. We'll have people at the table. We'll do what we do. We're not just going to take a vote, close our eyes, and move forward. This is a really important decision. Mr. Krikorian has suggested that we're going to have that public hearing today, and that all of that can be done, and then we can move consideration after that. Or I don't know that this is enough time to have this consideration just in one day when we really haven't even noticed this this was noticed yesterday. So I have a lot of concerns about that. I'm open to this idea of having a real hearing, but this doesn't feel like it to me, and I'll put it down.
Mr. Cedillo?
Prepared to move the motion, Madam Chair, but before that, just a simple question or a simple note that really what is the question of process? And process is really the procedure by which we implement democracy. You are elected by this body. Everyone raising an objection voted for you. All of us are duly elected. And so process is merely the procedure by which we implement the democratic will of the people. And this is what is before us now. Will we exercise that now? The vacancy is there, the candidate is there, and the appointing authority is there. The timeliness is determined by us, not Chicago or Seattle, not Utah or Phoenix, but this is Los Angeles. This is the 10th district. And now is the time to realize and exercise through the determined process, through the charter, exercise the democratic will of the people of the 10th, but more importantly, the people of this city. Now is the time.
All right, thank you, members. There are no other members on the queue. Members, we need to vote on the merit of the woman that is before us here today to represent Council District 10. So I urge you to please vote yes on consideration so we can have a discussion, hear from the members of the public, and then you can vote whichever way you want. But she deserves to be heard today. The people who are here deserve to be heard today. So I urge you to vote yes on consideration. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Can you do a verbal vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Blumenfield.
No.
Councilmember Bonin. Councilmember Buscaino.
Yes.
Councilmember Cedillo.
Yes.
Councilmember De Leon.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris Dawson.
No.
Councilmember Koretz.
Aye.
Councilmember Krikorian.
Aye.
Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Councilmember Martinez.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Farrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Price.
Aye.
Councilmember Rahman.
No.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
No.
9 ayes and 5 noes. The matter may not be considered today and would be referred to the Rules, Elections, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee.
Okay, let's move on. Madam Clerk, which are the available items for us to vote on today? Item 15 was called special by Ms. Rahman, and 29 was just voted on, so let's move on. Oh, you know, I just want to make sure that people who are here to speak on item 29, you can speak on item 29 during public comment as soon as we get through some of these items that we're going to vote on. I'm going to open public comment. If you wish to speak on item 29, you can do so in general public comment. So you're welcome to stick around. But I need to continue through the agenda, vote on some items, and I'll quickly get into public comment. Which are the available items, Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam President. There are cards on items 1 through 8, 14, 17, and 19 through 28. If you'd like to close public comment on the remaining items, the council may now vote on items 9 through 13, 16, 18.
All right, let's go ahead and open the roll on those items. Open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
14 ayes. If you'd like, we can also take item 15 on a separate vote, and also the closed session items.
Yeah, why don't we go to item 15? This was requested by Ms. Rahman for a separate vote. Let's open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 2 noes.
Okay, let's move on to the closed session items. Mr. Kokorian, do you wish to speak on items 30 through 35?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Each of these matters is a routine settlement discussion that has been considered. Some are rejections, some are acceptances that have been considered by the Budget and Finance Committee. The committee recommends approval of the city attorney's recommendations on all of those matters, and they can be taken up in open session unless members have questions.
Members, are there any questions on the closed session items? Mr. Cedillo?
An announcement, that's all.
Okay, so it's not on any of the closed session items, correct? Mr. Bonin, do you have a question on any of the closed session items?
Not on the closed session. I just meant to be recorded as a no vote on item 15 and didn't record in time.
Yes. Okay, so that changes the outcome. So what is the new tally?
For the record, that would be 11 ayes and 3 noes. The item is adopted.
Okay, there are no questions on closed session items, so Madam Clerk, why don't you go ahead and report on items 30 to 35?
Thank you. For item number 30 in the case entitled Sonia Holguin versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend up to $165,000 in settlement. The city attorney will read item 31.
Yes. For item 31, ABY Holdings, the settlement is to pay $100,000 to agree that the Brynhurst project is subject to the Housing Accountability Act, agree that the Crenshaw Q conditions do not apply to the Brynhurst project. This project application was determined to be complete prior to the enactment of the ordinance, and process the Brynhurst project based on the agreements consistent with the Los Angeles Municipal Code. And the petitioners will dismiss the entire action with prejudice.
Thank you. And to continue, item 32, in the case entitled Salvador Dueñas versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to reject the offer of settlement. For item 33, in the case entitled City of Los Angeles versus Lance J. Robbins Paloma Partnership, there is a recommendation to approve the settlement offered to waive penalties, and Paloma would pay the principal and interest due over a 3-year period to commence after the settlement is final. In item 34, the case entitled Randall Sturt versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to reject the offer of settlement. For item 35, in the case entitled Minush Malizadeh versus the City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $137,500 in settlement. Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and prepare to vote on those items. Closed session items, which are items 30 through 35. Open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Mr. Cedillo for an announcement.
Yes, public service is a commitment, one that is all of us have embraced as part of our lives, and I want to acknowledge a public servant that I had the honor and the privilege and the joy of serving both in the Senate and while I was in the Assembly, being on the floor with him, the Honorable Assembly Member for the 35th Assembly District, none other than my brother Isidore Hall. Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cedillo, and welcome, Senator Hall. Nice to see you. Madam Clerk, where are we now? I'm going to move on to public comment, if that's okay.
Thank you, yes.
So let's go ahead and move up to public comment. If I call your name, please come up to the podium. Like I said, if you're here to speak on item 29, that item was not considered today, but you can speak on the item in general public comment. Let's start with Danny Bakewell Jr. Is he here?
Thank you, Madam President, and members of the City Council. Needless to say, many of us who are here today are disappointed that this item will not be heard. We all hope that the charges against Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas are resolved with a favorable outcome once his case goes to court. But in the meantime, it should not be the constituents of District 10 who are forced to suffer. The Los Angeles City Council voted to suspend Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas on October 20th, 21st. And excuse me, Mr. DeLeon, for differing with you, but according to my math, that gives them no representation for the past 325 days. Herb Weston was appointed as the council member on March 17th, and he served honorably for approximately 125 days. But that means that the members of Council District 10 have gone over 200 days without a voice or a vote. We need to get this resolved as soon as possible. We need to give the council of the district a vote
Thank you.
ASAP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next speaker is Danny Bakewell, Senior.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to read to you something that I came across last night, or something that was sent to me. And it says that the Los Angeles City Council is poised to deny a black woman a voice and a vote to represent the 10th District. Now, what is significant about that is that that's the public's perception. And I know many of you, not only as great legislators, but also as a friend. And I know that's not the temperament and the focus that you come here with today. Today, I represent Dr. Melina Abdullah of Black Lives Matter. She asked me to please speak to you for her. I represent Pastor Edgar Boyd from First AME Church, one of the largest, not the largest, black church in Los Angeles.
Thank you.
And certainly the one that Tom Bradley came from.
Thank you, Mr. Bakewell.
That's all?
That was a minute. That was it. Got to treat everyone the same.
History has to be made today. This
you.
is not about anything. We are not.
So-
There's a great basketball player that said, you're talking about process.
So I'm really sorry, but your time's expired. We've got a lot of other people to hear from. So everybody gets the same amount of time. It's a minute. Thank you. So
Thank you, Mr. Bakewell.
thank you. Thank you. We really do need to move on to the next speaker.
Thank you. The next speaker is Pamela Bakewell.
Good morning. I am here to voice my support for Heather Hutt to be voted in and confirmed as the City Council member of the 10th District. She needs a seat at the table with full voting privileges. The 10th District needs representation. I've known Heather for 20 years. She is a woman of integrity, a woman who loves her community. She understands our community. She has devoted her life to serving others. We deserve to have Heather Hutt as the first black woman city council member of the 10th District. I stand with all the women and men here today and at home supporting Heather Hutt for councilwoman of the 10th District. Let's make history. Do this, please, do this.
The next speaker is Isaac Moreno, item 14. Isaac?
Can you list the speakers afterwards in order?
Isaac Moreno, are you here?
Okay. Hello.
You signed up to speak on item 14.
Yeah. My name is Isaac Moreno. I'm here to support the change of Bailey to Vicente Fernandez. That's all for me.
Thank you. The next speaker is Donna Jones. Donna Jones, are you here? General public comment, you have 1 minute.
Good morning, President Martinez and council members. I'm Donna Jones, and I'm a lifelong resident of Council District 10. I'm acting chair of West Adams Avenue, the area in historic West Adams between Arlington and Crenshaw. The 10th is and has been a significant historically area and survived all attempts to damage it up to now. I've come here today to request your vote to make Heather Hutt our voting representative on council at the table with you. Please give us our vote immediately so that we can continue to have our designated place at the table. The 10th District community has been punished and suffered long enough through no fault of our own. Ms. Hutt has proven herself capable in her ability to provide the leadership necessary to keep our district moving in the right direction. Ms. Hutt has the understanding needed to develop and make our community progress and successful. She must be allowed to have a vote to represent us. By voting to give Ms. Hutt a voting seat, you will give the 10th a chance to restore and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for your
The
time.
next speaker is Brenda Ashby. Brenda? Good morning. You're signed up for general public comment. You have 1 minute.
I'm also speaking on behalf of the neighborhood council, the community impact statement. Does that allow me more time?
You can speak if you sign up for item 29. You can speak on it in general public comment.
Okay.
You can do that now.
Yes.
But you have a community impact statement. Is that?
I have a community impact statement
Okay, hold on for just a second. From what neighborhood council would that be?
from the Empowerment Congress West Area Neighborhood Development Council.
Okay, thank you very much. Then you have 5 minutes total to speak and read your community impact statement from your neighborhood council. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm speaking on behalf of, excuse me, the Empowerment Congress West Neighborhood Development Council. We support the appointment of Heather Hutt to show support for Los Angeles Council District 10. The City Council appointed Chief of Staff Heather Hutt as caretaker. Unfortunately, Ms. Hutt has no voting power and is not allowed to present motions, which leaves the constituents of CD10 at a disadvantage. This constituents of Council District 10 should not remain disfranchised during the ongoing legal challenges in our district. We demand a qualified and experienced representative. Should the Honorable Herb Wesson be barred from serving, which he has, as a board-appointed member for Council District 10, we recommend that the Chief of Staff and current caretaker Heather Hutt be instated as the board-appointed member with full authority to attend committee meetings and make motions and vote on behalf of the constituents. Ms. Hutt is committed to serving the community, brings with her years of experience. Ms. Hutt understands our need, knows our history, lives in the community, and has the experience and integrity needed to represent CD10. She worked with Senator Kamala Harris on both the state and federal level in government, establishing strong relationships with elected officials on all levels. The constituents of CD10 will not be satisfied until we have a voting representative on the City Council. To continue operating smoothly, we welcome any move by the City Council to appoint Ms. Hutt to the board. Sincerely, Empowerment Council West Area, Empowerment Congress West Area Neighborhood Development Council. After reading that, I'd like to say that now I would like to speak personally. I'm a longtime resident of Council District 10, and we came here today excited, thinking that Heather Hutt would be given a chance at the to be appointed. Today, I was happy when Herb elected Ms. Hutt as the Chief of Staff. Today, I was elated that Ms. Hutt would make history by becoming the first African-American woman appointed to serve in CD10 since its conception in 1925. That did not happen today. In CD10, 83% of the constituents in CD10 are people of color. We cannot be fairly and adequately represented unless we have a voting representative with the power to handle the resources and the services in our district. We firmly request that the City Council appoint Ms. Hutt as a full voting representative. I want to say now, today, and not in 60 days. And I thank you for your vote and your time.
Sandra Villalobos. You signed up for item 14 and general public comment.
That is correct. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sandra Villalobos. I'm here representing OMICAL, Organización de Mariachis Independientes de California. We are here in support of the name change from Bailey to Vicente Fernandez. We consider this will benefit the mariachis at La Plaza, also increase people visiting Boyle Heights, and the businesses will benefit from all of the services and food and music that we serve in La Plaza. So thank you very much.
The next speaker is Jay Marie. You signed up to speak on item 27 and 29.
And general public.
Hold on for just a second. Yes. So you've got 3 minutes, 2 minutes for your items.
Great. Let me start by saying if you gave a shit about representation, you'd have this meeting in CD10 at a time when the majority of stakeholders could attend without missing work. It comes to my attention that the seconders of the motion to appoint Heather didn't fare well in the primary. The people of Los Angeles see you all. We see what you're doing, and we're sick of it. The backers represent Nuri's eroding power base, and most, if not, will be gone in a few months. Did Heather promise to back Nuri in December when there's no one left that wants her as council president? This isn't the fast one that Nuri has tried to pull. I'd like Rahman, Kokorian, Price, and Harris Dawson to think back to redistricting. Don't let her get away with the political backroom maneuvering again. CD10 has been torn apart and has lacked consistent representation because Nuri refuses to take a thoughtful approach to doing what is right and instead insists on ramming through her political appointees as quickly as possible. I urge the council not to make the same mistake twice. The people of LA are sick of dirty politics. If you doubt this, look at how we're voting. Are any of the rest of you to enter the next election cycle with the talking point that you oppose fair representation?
So, Speaker, that was obviously general public comment. You all
Obviously.
signed for 27 and 28, I think, or was it?
Yeah, for 27, it's the animal services thing.
You want to speak about that?
I do.
Okay, let's do that now. You have
I
a
think
minute.
the city of Beverly Hills would be stupid to enter a memorandum of with Animal Services from LA. Animal Services for LA is doing a piss poor job of what they need to do, and it's stupid. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The next speaker is Sherry Ely. Sherry, are you here? Sherry Ely. Good morning, ma'am. You signed up for item 29, but you can speak on that item in general public comment. Go ahead.
Council members, thank you. I'm Cherie Ely. I represent Baldwin Hills Homeowners Association. I'm also a lifelong resident of CD10. Representation matters, and CD10 has not been represented for 10 months. You can count the days however you like, but it's 10 months that we have not been represented. Our caretaker, Heather Hunt, should have full voting rights to adequately perform the role. A caretaker should have a complete knowledge of the districts and its needs. Heather possesses all of the above. She works in our district, she lives in our district. Her background makes her uniquely qualified. But more importantly, granting her voting rights would mean that we are well managed, that our needs are being met adequately. I ask you to be brave, appoint the caretaker the voting rights that she needs to do the job that we need.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Rosa Russell. Rosa, you also signed up for item 29, but you can speak in general public comment on that item. You have 1 minute.
Good morning, President Nuri Martini, and to all the city council members. I'm Rosa Russell, a longtime resident of CD10. Once again, I appear before you to fight for our voices to be heard. I want to thank you for appointing former council member of the 10th District, Herb Wesson. But I'm here today asking the city council members to please appoint Heather Hutt to represent our people to cast votes on our behalf of the 10th District. She has the experience working for former U.S. Senator Kamala Harris and as district director and former Senator Isidore Hall. Most recently, she has served as both chief of staff, caretaker for the 10th District, also a longtime resident of CD10. Please, council members, give us back our voice by appointing Heather Hutt to represent us in the 10th Council District. Remember, taxation without representation is unfair. Thank you.
The next speaker is Juan Zaragoza. Juan, you signed up to speak on item 14.
Buen día. Mi nombre es Juan Zaragoza y el motivo que estamos aquí yo y mis
Un momentito,
compañeros...
déjeme traducir, un momentito. Por favor, comience, nomás hable despacio para que la pueda traducir la traductora. Comience, por favor.
Buen día. Mi nombre es Juan Zaragoza y el motivo por el cual estamos nosotros aquí, yo y mis compañeros, es por el cambio de nombre de la calle Bailey a Vicente Fernández.
Un momentito.
Good morning, my name is Juan Zaragoza, and the reason why me and all my partners are here today is because we want to change the name of the street Bailey to Vicente Fernández.
Continúe.
Sí, todo.
¿Eso era todo?
Gracias.
That's all, thank you.
The next speaker is Tracy Mitchell. Tracy, you're speaking in general public comment.
Yes. My name is Tracy Mitchell, and I'm the president of Mothers in Action. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of Mothers in Action, but I'm speaking on behalf of the underserved children, families, and our members that live in Council District 10 and depend on the resources and services of Council District 10. We've been denied voting power for the past 10 months, and it's unacceptable. Families are suffering. We don't have another day to wait to restore the voting rights for Council District 10. Heather is qualified. She's born here, she was raised here, and she has always fought for the 10th District in any way possible. We can't wait any longer. Justice cannot continue to be denied for our youth. They are suffering. It's bad enough we've had to be home under quarantine for the past 2 years due to COVID. Our children are suffering, our families are suffering. We need those resources. We need the resources, and we need Heather Hutt today.
The next speaker is Alejandro Cisneros. You're speaking on item 14.
Sí, buenos días. Mi nombre es Alejandro Cisneros.
Un momentito, déjeme que la traductora lo traduzca. Hable despacio para que lo puedan traducir. Comience, por favor.
Sí, buenos días. Mi nombre es Alejandro Cisneros. Soy de la organización OMICAL, Mariachis Independientes de California.
Un momentito.
Good morning, my name is Alejandro Cisneros, and I'm here representing the Mariachis of California.
Venimos por la 14 y venimos apoyando el cambio de la calle Bailey por la de Vicente Fernández, ya que nos traerá buenos beneficios como trabajo, nos va a traer turistas, toda la comunidad, va a haber buen trabajo para los mariachis. Muchas gracias.
Un momentito.
Hi, I'm here on item 14, and I'm here to support the change of the Bailey Street to Vicente Fernandez Street. And this is going to bring us work and tourism, and it's going to give a lot of work to us mariachis here.
Muchas gracias, ya que también va a traer turistas para trabajar todos los mariachis. Gracias.
Thank you, and this will also bring tourism here to be able to hear to the mariachis here. Thank you.
The next speaker is Raúl Claros. You signed up to speak in general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you, Council President, and good morning to the council. I thought I was coming here today to thank the council for a historic vote to get, after 10 months of controversy, accusations, appointments, and then removals, to finally get our vote back in Council District 10. I represent a group of CD10 coalition members that make up houses of worship in Leimert Park, Korean, Bangladeshi, Latino community-based organizations in the Koreatown and central portion of the district. This is a district that came together during redistricting. It's also a district that named Little Bangladesh, Koreatown, and has fought for many years to preserve the historical value of Leimert Park. You see, we're a Black, brown, indigenous, Asian district. We all asked you to appoint Herb Wesson. Now that he can't do that, we're asking you to do the same thing with Heather Hutt. We will come back next week with more people, with more voices to tell you the same thing, and we ask for those 8 votes or more to approve Heather Hutt next week. Thank you.
The next speaker is Stacy Hill William. Stacy Hill William. You signed up to speak in general public comment. Go ahead.
I had general public comment as well as item 29.
Well, item 29 is not being considered today. That was voted a little while ago, but you
Okay.
can discuss it in general public comment.
Thank you. My name is Stacy Hill Williams, and good morning, Council President and esteemed members. I'm with the Los Angeles Brotherhood Crusade, a 54-year-old organization that provides support in this city. I'm representing our president and CEO, Sharice Breman Weaver, the Brotherhood Crusade organization, and myself as a 24-year constituent of the 10th District. We serve the Brotherhood Crusade thousands of families that reside in the 10th District. As a resident of the 10th District who works with these constituents, I'm here to urge the City Council to please empower Heather Hutt to be more than a caretaker, to have voting power with the other members, to represent her more than 250 constituents. The 10th District has been disenfranchised for months. It's not fair. Heather Hutt needs to be appointed to come to these meetings, make motions, and vote on behalf of CD10. We, the constituents of CD10, do not need another 60 days, another ad hoc committee, a new process.
Thank you.
Let's get Heather Hutt in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Aaron Moreno. You signed up to speak on item 14.
Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Aaron Moreno, and I come on behalf of Omical and District 14 supporting the name change from Bailey Road to Vicente Fernandez, because I think it'll bring a lot of tourists and a lot of work, hopefully, for the mariachis, because we're still kind of recovering on the bad side from the pandemic. So thank you very much.
The next speaker is Arnold Sachs. Mr. Sachs, you signed up to speak on items 1 through 8 and 20 through 24, and then item 26. and your general public comment. You can start with your items,
I
please.
didn't sign up for 28 and 27, ma'am?
28, you did not. Just items 20 through 24 and item 26, and 1 through 8.
Okay. Items number 8, 1 through 8, they're all, public hearings. Again, they're all notices for public hearing or public protest. So they've changed that to public protest. It used to be public hearings. And I'm wondering, where do they put the ordinances for these lighting districts? They're supposed to hang them in 2 places. I notice they're hanging them sometimes on the bulletin board at the front doors, but they're supposed to hang them a second place at the planning department on Temple Street, at the corner of Temple and what is it, Hill. But they don't hang them there. And they don't have any ordinance numbers to these ordinances. They just have consideration for the ordinance. But there's no number. So if there's no number, then technically there's no ordinance. And if you do it online and you don't print it on the paper, what is more important? Is the paper more important than what's online? A lot of people don't go online. A lot of people don't have access to that. But I have access to this agenda. It doesn't say anything about any ordinance. So I'm wondering why the hell not? Item 26 refers to track maps, but that doesn't include Quimby fees. And I don't know how many people remember exactly what Quimby fees are about. Quimby fees are the funds that developers are supposed to set aside so that parks can be developed. And I know there's a real park shortage in the city of LA. And why is that? Because you don't collect Quimby fees. And why don't you? Who's going to answer? Do you know, Mr. City Attorney? Are you the city attorney for the city or the city attorney for the council?
Let's stay on topic.
I'm just
Mr.
asking
Sachs.
a question, sir. You got lots of answers, but you don't answer the question. You're always staying on topic.
Mr. Sachs, can you please go back on your items?
Okay. I can't speak on 28 about grant funds. That's too bad, because they're for over 20 years. And I can't speak on item 28 about the contract with Beverly Hills. It doesn't say how much the contract is. And it says the contract was supposed to start on 1/1/22. This is the end of August. Why are you authorizing a contract at the end of August that was supposed to start on January 1st of this year? You were busy last year? You didn't know about that contract? And I hear a lot of problems with animal services. And it doesn't say how much for the contract. So is it an open-end contract? We don't know. Not my problem. It's your problem. It's everybody's problem, because it's another contract that doesn't have an amount to it. So where's the money going to come from? We have a budget of almost $9 billion.
You can go on to general, Mr. Sachs.
So my general public comment. Again, I'd like to ask for Jessica Lal to be appointed to run for mayor. She's had almost 15 years working with the downtown business district, which includes Skid Row, which is a cesspool of humanity. How many homeless plans are you going to have before you decide to go back to the Affordable Care Act? Are we going to go green? Are you planning on going green? Are you going to continue construction? And where are you going to get the water for the new tenants when we have an acute water shortage? And how many tenants are you going to try to house in these places? Why don't you reuse some of the empty buildings? And stop the taxing on female hygiene products. Why don't you contact the governor and have him put a law in effect that stops taxing female products? Why don't you do that? This is the capital of America?
Thank
Still
you,
a
Mr.
democracy?
Sachs. Thank you, Mr. Sachs.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Your time is up. I got to call the next speaker, Jason Reedy.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs.
Mr. Sachs, your time is up. Thank you. Jason, you signed up for item number 19 and general public comment.
Correct. I'll start with 19. So I'm against any banners that promote the Sherman Oak Neighborhood Council. Why? Well, after George Floyd was murdered, they released a statement that in part read, "Recognize and acknowledge the role our institutions have played and continue to play in quietly supporting systemic racism, and then do something." But what have they done since then? In the same newsletter, they included a blurb from Alan Shear, proud member of the LAPD Van Nuys CPAB, asking for volunteers to surveil their own communities and assist the LAPD at station or while in patrol calls. Just this month, they took part in LAPD's National Night Out event at the Sherman Galleria. I haven't seen or heard an acknowledgement of the role that LAPD has played and continues to play in loudly supporting, enacting, and protecting systemic racism. They kind of remind me of you, Nithya. I mean, the last time you critiqued LAPD violence was before you were sworn in as council member, and that was when the LAPD beat me and others in front of Garcetti's mansion. How about banners reminding people that the LAPD is the most murderous police department in the nation, or how they are responsible for the most hate crimes in our city? Now, moving on to my public comment. Mitch, where'd you go? Why is it that you can't request PRAs from your office via next request? This happened around the beginning of August, and what this also means is that you can't search for closed PRAs in the system. You are still listed on the record request portal, and multiple people with 5 PRAs from your office haven't had any response from your office in months. So instead of trimming some trees on a Saturday, fulfill these requests. Nuri and Fable, or however the fuck you say your name. I look back on when you kicked me out of city council meeting last time. You did not issue a warning as I stated then. In fact, you rarely issue a warning for me, but reserve that for others who disrupt. I wonder why angry black men scare you and your knee-jerk reaction is to rid yourself of them as soon as possible. Gil, so nice to see you're settling in as your new role as Rick Caruso's chauffeur. And Joe, since family isn't off limits for you, maybe it's time I start speaking on Gia and Mateo. But you know what? I'm not going to go that low because I give a shit about children. But does your wife know about your romantic relationship with Gabby Medina? A lot of staffers are talking about it.
Your time is expired. Thank you.
The next speaker is Danny Aba. Danny? Danny Aba, you here? Danny is not in the room. The next speaker is Deetra Grinaway. Deetra? You signed up to speak in general public comment. Go ahead.
Greetings. Council, I have a question. Can the City of Los Angeles City Council be sued for causing injury? Yes, they can. You guys have caused injury to District 10, and Heather Hutt needs to be appointed.
The next speaker is Andrew Grabner. You're signed up for general public comment.
All right, looks like everyone's sitting down today. That's good. Usually somebody's standing up and ignoring public comment completely. Yeah, so I'm a CD6 resident, and they say that usually when a elected official that's representing your district, or at least supposed to be representing your district, it has a lot of power. You wouldn't want to get rid of all that power. But actually, as a CD6 resident, I'd be completely happy if Nuri Martinez lost a lot of her power. Nuri, you're trying to appoint someone to CD10 with very little public input. You're basically, especially for the residents of CD10, there should be a democratic process based on what CD10 wants, not a appointment process of what one person who's not even from the district wants.
The next speaker is Chase Gibson. Chase, are you here? Chase Gibson is not in the room. Dr. Truthbay? You signed up to speak on items 16, 17, 26, and 27 in general public comment. Start with your items, please.
So, actually, Madam President, we voted on 16.
You strike 16. So then that only leaves items 17, 26, and 27?
Actually, 28. Skip 27 in public comment.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So it's apparent that District 10 needs a leader. But what I find more egregious is that you say appoint Heather Hunt to hold office until Mr. Ridley Thomas is acquitted or charges against him has been dismissed, whichever comes first, right? You give choices. But why would you even consider someone who disrespected the community by misappropriating funds as a county supervisor? Why should that even be a consideration? It shows the value and the moral, especially Marquise Harris Dawson, that's very vocal about defending his buddy. We don't cater to thieves. Heather Hunt has proven herself in the community as someone who should be in the seat, as a black woman, should be no discussion. And if you're non-black especially, you should not be speaking against. 5 no's is alarming, to me. So I do thank Nuri and the other councils who actually did consider Ms. Hunt and her reputation to represent the city of District 10.
But that's
I'm
obviously
sorry?
a general public comment. Do you want to talk on items 17, 26,
Yeah, I'm going to speak
or
on
28?
28. Can you just not mess up the flow,
Sorry,
please?
you
know,
went
'cause
out of
you're
order
very
and your
annoying.
time was
You're
expired on the
annoying.
general,
I
so
hear you,
let's
but
go
let
to
me
28
finish
then.
talking. Don't interrupt me, because you're not in the streets.
Okay,
you're in
do
an
you wanna go
air-conditioned
on to
office
28 or
every
not?
week.
Okay.
Okay, so let me
you're
go to
now
28. I'm
I'm
going
not
to
having an
28.
argument with you. You're disrupting the meeting. Do you want to talk on 28 or not?
Okay. Go on to your items, please.
Privilege looks like.
Okay, you're off topic.
Okay, so 28.
No.
Excuse me, 28.
Just let her
Excuse-
finish her items.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Just finish your items,
I know you
please.
don't like my melanin, but I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to the Economic Workforce Development, EWDD. Carolyn Hull, who is the director for EWDD, I see that there are 5 projects that you were exempting as grant positions. You have 2 as a senior project, 2 for project coordinator, and 1 for senior project assistant. So the basic on EWDD is supposed to help with jobs. Something very simple. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of equity for black-owned businesses. As much as you say you do on paper, in reality, we don't see that, especially black women, as we see that in every position, whether it is a job or director or District 10, that there's a problem with black women being representative. As I showed you before with the homeless committee, strategy committee, paperwork that you had, you don't even have a black woman represented as a homeless person. There's a problem with black women in position, and I'm sorry, there's gonna be a lot of more black women that's gonna replace some of you. Marquise Harris Dawson, you're gonna be number 1, okay? I promise you for
so-
District 8, right? So after the taste, the soul, and all that, just reconsider what your position is in
can we-
District 8.
can
While
we
we
get back on
focus
the
on the
agenda items,
fulfillment of
Dr.
District
Toothbay,
10,
please?
there is not a body, not a seat, not a bone,
Okay,
not
so,
a hair
so Dr.
on District
Toothbay,
10 right now.
This is your last and final wording. Would you please get on topic or forfeit the rest of your speaking time?
Finish this up. I want to finish it on 28, please. Lastly, aside from the jobs, I'm going to go to the Housing Authority, which is, you had agenda number 17. Western Avenue between 96th Street, that was a consideration for Harris, Dawson, and Blumenfield. That when you are considering any adjacent alleys or temporary closing, that you don't have community impact statements submitted, there's a problem there. There's a serious problem there when you have lack of representation in these areas, and yet you do have community impact statement, as was shown today by District 10, that you're not submitting them when you are making choices in areas like this. So I want you to consider, please, submitting the community impact statements in those areas, because they are active and they are actively submitting. Lastly, for LASA, District 9, LASA goes home at 2 p.m. at your constituent office on Central Avenue. They don't go home at 5 as they tell the feds, right? They get HUD money, but they leave at 2 p.m. So when I brought homeless people to get service at the LASA Constituent Center, which you don't even have a public parking lot, it's closed. You don't even have services for homeless people after 2 p.m. Do you know that, Current Price? So can we please be relevant and be transparent to the homeless services that are given to the black families? Leimert Park is also representation less, not only Koreatown. Remember those 52 neighborhoods and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Lionel Morris. Lionel, are you here? Lionel is not in the room. Next speaker is Rich. Oh, look at you today.
Okay.
You have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
And for 29?
Item 29 is not before us. You can speak in general public comment.
Okay. As a resident of CD10, I agree with a lot of people in this room. We do need a representative. But Nuri, you put out a press release on Friday saying that you had appointed Heather Hutt, and it was a done deal. And Nuri, I realize that you know that your power as council president, it's not going to be lasting much longer. How'd the vote go today? Not in your favor. You're not whipping votes. You're not going to be council president next go around. MHD knows that. Gil knows that. He's on his way out. Joey Buckets, 1%, and he's on his way out. Mitch, you're on your way out. Your campaign, just like the fence, going down, dude. And so, yeah, I was in here a few weeks ago, and I got arrested in front of all of you. And you, Mitch, I bet your sick ass loved seeing them harass me. I know my arresting officers. Fuck you.
The next speaker is Reverend Park Young Nam. You signed up to speak on item 29, but you can go ahead and speak in general public comment on that item.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dear Honorable Council, I'm joined here in the audience by many other Korean American residents and leaders from our Korean community from the 10th District. We are here in support of the appointment of Heather Hutt as the voting member. As the current chair, she is in the best position to properly represent us without delay. We cannot continue to be without representation any longer. The victims of this situation are the good people of the 10th District. When I hear this and that, I feel and sense that I am under very critical moment in council history. Please restore our voice and vote and appoint Heather Hutt as voting member.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Rob Kwan. Rob, did I pronounce that correctly this time? You signed up for item 29, but you can speak in general public comment.
You never had a problem with it till this year.
Oh.
So I just like to thank all of you that were talking about democracy and process and insurrection, trying to circumvent the process and instill somebody here. Nuri, you've been complaining about this vacancy being treated differently than others, but it's nothing like those other vacancies. You're choosing to fulfill a 2.5-year term. Smith was just a six-month seat warmer during a special. KDL was voted in, and he had a 2-month head start. Here you are choosing their long-term representation. I'd like to ask, in 2016, why is it that you endorsed Monica Rodriguez about a week after Felipe Fuentes announced he'd be stepping down 10 months early? I think it's probably because you wanted to plant a flag and make it clear that you had a house divided, and it would be really inappropriate for somebody to be appointed to fulfill that seat. So you left that vacant for 10 months. 10 months, that's more than enough time to have had a special here. Lastly, I just want to say, I have a little handout. If you look at the old charter, there's no ambiguity about what a temporary vacancy is. The last line of our old charter dating back to 1925, read it.
Thank you, Mr. Kwan. The next speaker is Dallas Fowler. Dallas, are you here? Dallas Fowler? Can you please allow Ms. Fowler to come up? Thank you. Good morning. You signed up to speak on item 29, but you can do so in general public comment.
Greetings, council members.
Hold on for just a second. Let the gentleman, there you go. Go ahead.
Okay, greetings, council members. I'm Dallas Fowler, longtime resident of CD10 and former commissioner. Most of you know me well by first name. I'm just gonna say I am extremely disappointed in the 5 members who thought that we should not have representation. Over 200 days, this district has gone without a voting member on this council. And you would never allow that to happen in North Hollywood or Sherman Oaks or any other community, okay? So what you are doing is unconstitutional, and like Ms. Greenaway said, it is damage. And it is an insult to every woman in this district, which is the majority of voters and population in CD10. Black women are watching. This will be not just seen throughout Los Angeles, this will be seen throughout the country. Shame on you for not giving us a voting representative. And that's all I have to say. I don't need a minute.
Thank you.
And that concludes general public comment for today. Did you sign up for general public comment?
Yes, Madam President.
What is your name?
Last of Young, first of Amos, AMOS.
Come on up.
Thank you, Madam President.
I don't see your name, but you said you signed up for one item.
Great question, Your Honor. Initially it was for item 29, and then I did a second, and I put it under general comment, Your Honor.
Okay, I see you. Go ahead and speak in general public comment.
In the interest of time, I prepared my remarks to ensure I stuck with it. First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for your distinguished service to the Los Angeles community. Each of you have unique ideas and concerns, but all of you have the same mission, which is to ensure the voices of those who live and work throughout Los Angeles are heard and upheld in the interest of all that is good for the community to be uplifted. A little over a year ago, I was in a discussion with Angela Bassett doing her disappointment regarding a matter that she had with others. I stated to her that all is well. She responded that all is well because all that we do is well intended. 9 members voted today because they know that all is well. To the 5 who voted no, you and I both know that the 9 are well intended. You stated so. Though we have many disappointed in today's vote, I tell you that all is well and all will be well because Heather Hutt is well intended. She will be the next council member. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, did you sign up?
Yes, I did.
You did? What is your name?
Harry McElroy.
Eric?
Harry McElroy.
Harry? Okay, what item are you speaking on?
I was on 29, so I'll do general
Okay,
comment.
go ahead and speak in general public comment. Go ahead.
Yes, I've been a resident of Leimert Park for 36 years. I stand in support of the motion for a transparent and open process. I am Exhibit 1 on the importance because I was one of the plaintiffs that had to go to court to make sure this body followed the law. Instead, it rushed into a backroom deal that actually delayed the process. By the way, I find it appalling that some of you want to cite the city charter now as justification for this rush to judgment. Now, the president and some of the members of this body are trying to double down on stupid. It would be a benefit to the temporary appointee to have a process. This is not about any candidate. It's about an open process that is worthy of the democracy that all of you are privileged from in order to serve in this horseshoe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, members, that concludes public comment, but I just want to take just a couple of minutes just to say a few words to Heather. You know, it's unfortunate that we find ourselves here today. But Heather, I can tell you one thing, as a woman of color, I can tell you the hurdles that we women have to jump and to prove our qualifications over and over again. It's unfortunate that when we're living in a time where people say they want to empower women of color and they want to see us lead, you can see time and time again that it is an impediment for some of these folks to see us lead because we don't take cues from them. And that is what precisely this is about. You are qualified. You have earned my respect and my support, because you have proven to me that you care dearly about the district that you grew up in, that you raised your children in, and that you continue to live in. So I am sorry that a few did not have the courage to have this conversation and deal with the merits of this black woman that's here today. But I commit to you to continue to support you and continue to ensure that the residents of CD10 have representation. This has gone far too long. I do not want to be in this position. No matter what you hear, as a leader, I've worked over the past 2.5 years to keep people safe from the pandemic, to keep our city moving, to keep our people housed, to keep our people safe, to keep them at work, to keep them vaccinated, to keep them safe. That's the kind of power I yield. And that is what I am so proud of. But let me tell you something, Miss. Excuse me, I am speaking. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Ricky,
You're disrupting this meeting.
Mr. Reed, first, last,
You
and
got a
only
warning. You can leave now. Thank you. Yes, you can leave
All
now.
right, you've disrupted the meeting yet again.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
Thank you very much,
Surchenko,
sir.
This is your last and only warning as well.
And I want to say this. The last thing I want to say is, Richie Surchenko, can you make his way out as well?
So-
He loves to speak for our community. Thank you very much.
Mr. Reedy and Mr. Surchenko,
You don't speak for my community. You don't speak for women. You don't speak for women of color. Thank you very much. You can leave.
Please leave quietly now. You've both been ordered removed for disrupting the meeting.
The last thing I want to say is this. A true democratic process would be for this council member to resign and have a special election. We cannot do that. Our hands are legally tied at this time. That is true democratic process, is to have a special election, but that is not what's before us now. And so with that, Heather, thank you very much for coming out here, and thank you very much everyone who came out to speak on her behalf. I appreciate it. Thank you. Members, these are the items that are before us now. Items 1 through 8, items 17, and items 19 to 28. Let's open the roll.
Pardon me, Madam Chair, if you'd like to include item 14 in that group.
I apologize, Mr. De Leon did call that item special, so let's go ahead and vote on item 1 through 8, 17, and item 19 through 28. Let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
14 ayes.
Mr. De Leon, do you want to speak on item 14?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President. Colleagues, file item number 14 is a district item. We heard folks from Ball Heights, Plaza Mariachi, Umical, to be very specific, who came and spoke during public testimony. If you don't mind, párense, no, por favor. I just want to recognize, obviously, Sandra Villalobos, Israel Moreno, Alejandro Cisneros, Isaac Moreno, Aaron Moreno, y Juan Zaragoza. These men and Sandra represent Umical. As we know, Vicente Fernandez was a cultural icon among Latinos worldwide. His music impacted generations of Latinos, including so many here in Los Angeles. I know that Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, for example, and Mr. Cedillo, Ms. Nuri Martinez, and heck, who knows, even some folks around here who may not be Latino, listened in some form, way, or shape, to Vicente Fernandez. His music was music that transcended, generations. You have folks from Generation Z, and millennials who listen to Vicente Fernandez, as well as Generation X and what they call the Boomer generation, obviously, and those that came before them. This is what united all Latinos and Latino immigrants, the stories, the music of heartache, of perseverance, of resilience, of class, of ethnicity, of working hard and trying to do everything within your power, of love lost and love gained. This is meant as a tribute to a singer, an entertainer who contributes so much to our culture and to our heritage. So whether you're in Mexico or in Ball Heights, Chente, was a household name growing up. And like all people, his life experience was a reflection of so many immigrants here, whether it be in Pacoima, whether it be in East San Fernando Valley or Boyle Heights, MacArthur Park, South LA, or elsewhere. Just want to recognize that, colleagues, this is today the final vote to rename Bailey Street to La Calle Vicente Fernandez. I just want to thank all my colleagues for their support and thank you for the mariachis who came out today in support. With that, thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and prepare to vote on item 14. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, what's before us now?
Madam President, there is a request to send item 15 forthwith.
Okay, without objection, that would be the order.
The council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred. Members, do you have any announcements today? Seeing no announcement, because we all rise for adjourning motions. I'm going to start on my right. Is there adjourning motions to my right? Any adjourning motions to my left? Seeing none, our meeting is adjourned.
teammate, and honestly, I was in the elevator with him the day before he went to the hospital, and he said he was sick.